Hi everyone, it's Kimberly. Welcome back to the channel. Thanks you guys for really supporting this new brand change. And for those of you who are just getting familiar with me, we were previously the Illumined Guru, and that was my coaching business. And I decided to change it because I feel like, we're all up leveling, and so was my messaging and what I'm doing in my mission. Nothing has changed with my sessions. You can still go to the old URL. It'll take you to the new website. And I tried to make it like a seamless transition. But what you'll see is that the messaging has been stepped up a notch in terms of what I'm doing, how I'm helping you integrate, and how I'm helping you guys heal and navigate this journey. Also, I have a book coming out towards the end of, I think, 2019 or early 2020. The timing's not totally positive right now, but that's in the works. And I'm working on that. And that's all based on the spiritual law of attraction and how we master that. And some of that's told through personal memoir, and some of that will be workbook style guidebook for you. So it's going to be a really, really fun and exciting book. Also working on a high vibrational cookbook. So a lot of that, those tidbits, that wisdom, the inspiration, all that is on the social media pages. And those have all switched seamlessly too. So if you haven't liked us yet, please do. It's Instagram or Facebook at Spiritual Material Girl, okay? And the website, spiritualmaterialgirl.com, or you can still go to theilluminedguru.com. Still doing one-on-one sessions to celebrate this new brand and the new year. You can save $19 off any service this month. Just use the code Lucky SMG, like Lucky Spiritual Material Girl or Lucky Spiritual Material Guy. So it's Lucky SMG, all caps, when you book a session. Okay, so that's my gift to you. Happy New Year. I hope your New Year's off to a good start. So I've decided to consolidate how I do the videos. And what I'm going to do is every single week, either between Friday and Monday, I'm going to post a new energy report for Twin Flames specifically. Then during the week, I'll post intermittent videos about all sorts of things: manifestation, law of attraction, anything that I feel like is up in the collective, or anything that I feel really passionate or, guided to speak about. All right. So you'll be able to look for those new energy reports every single week. I know I was doing them sort of intermittently, and I feel like there's a need for me to do them every week now. It's important. And so in those readings, in those energy reports, I will use the tarot cards, and I will be talking about twin flame principles, primarily ascension principles, and giving you the guided messages, right? And the in-between videos during the week, whatever I post during the week, those will be definitely about navigating your own personal journey, right? So every weekend or between Friday and Sunday, you're going to see the new energy report for Twin Flames. And then during the week, you're going to see all these other videos to help you navigate your ascension, okay? So I hope that you enjoy that new format, and I'll try to stick to it as best as possible. So this is our week of energy update, okay? So I'm updating you for the week of January 14th or January 13th. Through the 21st, okay, or through the 20th, okay. So then I will come back and I'll bring you your next update, which is going to be the one that includes the lunar eclipse and the full moon, right? So that's going to be an exciting one next week. You can sign up on my newsletter or on my website for my newsletter. Those go out about 2 or 3 times a month, or especially around the beginning of the month and the new moon and full moon. Okay, so you'll get extended forecasts in my newsletters. Okay, all right. So I want to talk about a couple of things twin flame related. So twin flames, one thing I get asked a lot is about dreams. Dreams, I am no stranger to myself. Even since leaving my twin, I have had dreams every single night. And sometimes he's just in the background, and sometimes he's in the forefront. Sometimes the messages are more abstract, and sometimes they're more literal. What I found recently for me personally is that I have been processing in those dreams. He comes to me in the 5D, and he could be watching this for all I know, but anyhow, I just want to share with you. He comes to me in the 5D, and he plays out sort of like the better case scenario. Like he plays out with me like how he should have cared, or what he should have said, or how he, should have acted in certain ways that he wasn't communicating, or wasn't acting, or wasn't showing support or love or whatever. And most of the dreams I'm silent in, which is kind of interesting because obviously there's silence between us now. But in general, even when we were together, even throughout the journey, there were always dreams. And the dreams that sort of showed me that it was time for a separation were the ones in which his new partner was coming to me, and she came to me so clearly, and she was asking me to get out of the way, very clearly. And I met her, I would say, it feels like more than 100 times, but I would say in a year's time, there was at least 50 dreams, at least, where I met her very clearly, saw the way that she looked. She would show up in different iterations, but and this is not someone that he knows. This is someone that's coming in for him. So she was asking me to get out of the way. That's not the reason why we broke apart, but that's the reason why I really started keying into these messages, because I knew that it was quite real. So the thing about the 5D messages is all different things will play out. You'll get higher messages from your twin. Like a lot of times your twin will show up in the 5D form that he's not able to give you, or she's not able to give you right now from their 3D, stance, from where they're at in their consciousness right now. So that can be an incredible gift. So don't forget to really be grateful for these dreams. I know sometimes they torment us a little bit, especially if you haven't talked to the person in a long time and you see them in your dream and you feel like, oh my God, why? It's kind of like seeing a loved one who's passed on, right? They visit you. And so it's very purposeful. And most often with twin flames, the messages that come through, they are messages for you from a much higher level. It's usually the iteration of the person in a more healed state or a higher state. Sometimes you'll see the lower vibrational stuff, like the 3D stuff, playing out in those dreams because it's there for you to heal through the fears and heal through your own blocks. Sometimes you receive the connection with the twin so that you can receive what's going on in the higher level and pull yourself out of the 3D. So hone in on, is the attention being brought to your blocks in the 3D and the fears that you need to work through, or are you also receiving messages from a higher level that you need to listen to so that you can trust that all is well on the other side, okay? So that's really important. Let's see. When we get into talking about signs and synchronicities, okay, well, one thing I've been dying to do, and I'm just going to do it, is you all talk about signs and synchronicities. And I get it. I've been doing this work since I was a teenager, if not before that. But I have been working with the signs for so long that it's ordinary for me, very ordinary. I understand it very well, right? I could say it's been with me for, almost 30 years. So working with the signs is not, it's not what does this mean? I already know what they mean. I already know how to translate it. So let me give you a few tips and reminders. Even though I've posted videos about this before, I want to touch on this again. So when you get signs, and this is it's almost the same thing. Lately I've been seeing my dad who's passed on in spirit. I've been seeing his birthday everywhere, okay? So I know he's trying to communicate with me, okay? And he does communicate with me through the heart shape, and those of you who have seen my heart posts, you know that. And it's been like this since about a year after he passed. So lately I've been seeing more hearts. My little Zoe's been bringing me hearts, and I feel like that's coming through him. It's the same thing when you're in a separation with your twin or you're not in communication. Even there were days with me and my twin flame where he would be at work and, we would be together and let's just say we wouldn't talk to each other for 8 hours. Those signs and messages would sometimes come through just like that. But we could validate it at the end of the day because we were talking to each other and we were in a relationship. But I think it's hard for some of you guys because you get the signs, but then you don't trust them. So here are my tips and pointers. And I always say this, and maybe you guys have seen these videos or maybe not, but when you get the signs, whether they are visual, because you will get them visually, you know, on license plates, on price stickers, on things that you buy at the supermarket, you know, dates, letters, initials, your initials, your twin flames initials, you know, my dad's birthday, your twin flame's birthday, you know, the repeating patterns of numbers that are just more like your angels or like your spirit guides or the angels kind of just showing you that you're connected in or kind of like giving you support or encouragement along your journey. We'll talk more about that in a minute. Whatever that is, oftentimes we see it visually, right? It can be like literal words on a truck or on a car. It could be things that we see when we're scrolling on social media. Sometimes, like nowadays, like often when we have like an animal spirit that's coming in or like a power animal or an animal totem that's coming in to work with us, you will see the likeliness of it on TV, on social media. I mean, it's not like we're out in the forest all day, like way back in, you know, in ancient times or in even hundreds of years ago. So, you're going to get but know that the reason why you're seeing it is very, very important. Some of you were saying a few weeks ago that you kept seeing unicorns. So did I. Now this week it's been dolphins, but it's not like I'm out at sea. You're seeing dolphins. I'm seeing the likeliness of them come up on books, on TV, on, where else did I say? On social media. Everywhere I've been looking is like dolphins. So when you get that, research it. Go, okay, what's dolphin symbolism? What's unicorn symbolism? What does this mean in a higher level? And then when you find that meaning, just kind of put it in your back pocket and then just release it. Go, wow, this is amazing. I'm being reminded of something. I'm being reminded to, you know, come into my confidence or you know, or like release my fears or be adaptable or whatever those symbols are. But quite often we see those visually, right? That's like the most common. But then also, and that's a sign also that you are clairvoyant. So then we also get the audio messages. So meaning like we'll hear clips of songs, little tidbits of conversations that ring for us or resonate for us. They echo for us. And I'm like, whoa, I can't believe I just heard that. Or like, you know, you kind of know that it is something for you. And whether it's the visual sign or you're receiving it through whatever you hear, it has a resonance. That's how you know you're not crazy, right? You'll get goosebumps or you'll be like, it'll seem like it's bigger, larger, being magnified for you, even if it's not, right? You might be driving down the highway and see a billboard that says something. Maybe you're thinking about giving up on your mission or something, and then you go by a billboard and it says, don't give up, right? Like, so it's like those synchronicities that are guiding you. You have to trust that guidance. That's your spirit guide team helping you. And I never understood that until I met my spirit guides a few years ago, even for as long as I had worked with the signs. But when I met with my spirit guides, I really understood it better. So what I'm going to do is I have a Meet Your Spirit Guides meditation and a little worksheet packet. And it's really awesome. It's like an hour-long meditation. You can go in and meet your spirit guides. It gives you a whole description of what it all means. And it also has like a workbook where you can like record your observations and what you learned as you met each of your 5 team members, your main team members on your spirit guide team. So if you want that, I'm going to put it available on my website. It should be up in just, you know, a little bit for $20, just inexpensive. You buy it, I send you the meditation, the link to the meditation, and you'll get the worksheet packet, and that's it. Okay, so I think some of you might be interested in doing that. That's going to clarify a lot for you. It's going to clarify kind of who's sending you what, how they're communicating with you. And you're also going to know that you build your own definition with the signs. So some of this, you're going to get clarity through meeting your spirit guide team. Other things, you're just going to know because you know. This is truly about trusting the signs that you receive. I always say, what's the first feeling that you get? Does that sign feel light or dark? Does it feel positive or negative? Like, look at it that way at first. Then once you discern that, like, okay, it feels good. It doesn't feel like a warning. It feels positive. It feels light. It feels hopeful. Well, what's the message? Then ask yourself, what's the message? And most people know what the message is, and then they second guess themselves because they're like, no, that couldn't be it. Or the more common thing is that once you know what it is and you trust it, then you want to attach to it. That's where we go wrong. So what do I mean? I mean, like when you see a sign, you read into it, you attach to it, you begin hoping, waiting, expecting. So for instance, let's say you're driving down the road and all of a sudden this car gets in front of you. It's got your Twin Flames initials. Then another truck whizzes past you and it says something, with your Twin Flames name. Then something else and it says, like something like, call us soon or something like that, right? So then you feel like, oh my God, am I supposed to reach out to my twin flame? What is this trying to tell me? And see, this is where we get into a tizzy and a frenzy. So I think what those signs mean is there might be something coming down the pipeline. There might be a connection or contact soon, but you're just supposed to observe it, smile upon it, and receive it, and then just let it go. The signs never pressure us to take action. If there is some sort of action that you're needing to take, you'll know because there'll be an increase of the cadence of the signs. It's like your guides will start saying, hey, you're not getting it. Hey, you're not. It's like this book. I lulled for a little bit in writing. And recently, like my folder with all the book information went flying out. And then all these songs that like my master guide works with me on for manifestation keeps playing for me. Little things like where I'm like, it just keep being shown like you're supposed to be finishing writing the book right now. So listen. If you don't listen, they'll keep getting stronger. They'll keep coming on. And it's not about needing to take action. Most of the times the signs are there as a gentle guide, moving in the right direction. Kudos. Hey, this connection is still alive. Hey, there's a deeper love at a soul level. This is a reminder to you. Hey, you're feeling doubtful today. We're going to show you that at a higher level, everything is good. And I think sometimes what happens is like our ego or our human self, gets hung up on the signs, gets attached. So try to smile upon them, try to receive this beautiful information, trust what it means, and then just release it. Or if you feel like you're compiling some information with repeating signs, then just put it in your back pocket till you really know what it means. And remember, action comes from an inspired fashion, not because there's a pressure or because, if you feel torn or tormented, it's probably not time to take action on anything. Okay. If you hear something in the background, my OCD little Zoe is in her litter box, wiping her paws like crazy. So sorry. All right. So let's get into these. So we talked about dreams. We talked about signs. You know that the spirit guide meditation, Meet Your Spirit Team, is going to be up on my website, $20. You can, I'll email it to you. It's an audio meditation and a worksheet packet. Okay. So I'm going to pull an energy spread for the collective for this week, and we'll get an update on the energies, and then we'll, check in next week before the lunar eclipse and the full moon. Okay. All right. So let's see. Okay, so I'm going to use, as always, I now use for tarot, I use the Star Child Tarot, and if you guys want to order these, she's based in Canada, so you do have to wait a little bit for the shipping, but they are really great cards. I love them. It doesn't take too long, though. It's good. She fills the orders very fast, and they should be available on starchildtarot.com. Her name is... Danielle Noel, okay? And then I'm using Wisdom of the Oracle deck, which these are, you guys, sometimes people say, like, did you shuffle your cards? Yes, my cards get shuffled very well before I put them away. So when I pull them out, I give them, like, a refresher of current energy, and then I can go into it more quickly. Okay. Okay, and then I'm going to use, let's see, we'll use the Christina Georgieva deck, lilwanderer.com. I think it's lilwonder.com. Sorry, Christina. So you can look her up on social media too if you want those cards. And we're going to use the Angel Therapy deck today. That seems to be calling me. And we'll probably refer to the Ask Your Guides deck for some clarifications too. All right. It's so funny how all of the present or the current readings, they all kind of are still delivering the same messages over and over again, new ways. You know, more information comes through, but a lot of the same things repeat. So for the masculine, so this is the Queen of Wands coming up in reverse, okay? And this is really talking about, like, him coming into his own, like, feels like strength, self-assuredness, like ability to make it in the world in the way that he hasn't even dreamt of before, or maybe just starting to dream of. Like, it feels like he's clearing the path to step forward in a new way. But he's needing to let go of some of the things that he's been leaning on, right? And it's funny because the bottom of that Angel Therapy deck, which we've been seeing the dependency card a lot in other readings, is Heal Away Addictions. And I've been feeling very much that this is important for the masculine because these are addictions to the programming, to, you know, societal programming, being stuck, you know, in, like, literally stuck because he's adhering to, or he or she, whoever's identifying with the masculine energy. Remember that we both have masculine and feminine energy within, and that any of these messages may resonate for you at some level. But I do feel like the divine masculine are really thinking about clearing the path for next steps, is what they're saying. And it's like next steps feel like breaking away from the pack, okay? And that's really like what they're showing us here. But he's struggling with it a little bit. And it's like, it's feeling like he's like not resisting like this, being on his own, standing on his own 2 feet, breaking away from the pack, breaking away from, you know, like what is supposed to be done, what he's supposed to do, or what he's been sort of limiting himself with. There's been a lot of self-limiting beliefs and like comfort and addiction cycles. And I keep saying this. So like where the masculine gets comfortable in hiding, secrecy, like lower vibrational energies, you know, he's comfortable not stepping up into his full potential, not, you know, he's comfortable there. It's comfortable. It's almost, it's like addictive, comfortable with the addictions, comfortable. He's just comfortable with that. And now I feel like the masculine is starting to realize, like, hey, it's time to break these dependencies. It's time to break away from the pack. And they are reinforcing that because crowning over it is the message, time to go. And for the masculine, it's like they're saying it's time to leave that job, you know, maybe not this month, but I feel like he's planning this departure. It's time to, you know, masculine, if you've been left, if you know, your feminine has gone to a different geographic location or whatever that may be, or maybe a karmic relationship has ended recently, or maybe you're at like a crossroads with like your job. It's time to go. It's time to go into you, your own path, and it's time to break away from the pack. And in doing that, masculine is going to line up with his authenticity, and he's going to be able to relinquish some of those addictions and cycles. It's like where he's been hanging out in the lower vibrational energies because it's comfortable, because it's easy, because you know, like at a certain level, you know, his soul's a little bit lazy, you know, it's like not quite ready to do all that work. But what they're showing me is like the path for the masculine is much different than the feminine, where the feminine goes into like really consciously healing her her wounds and doing all this work and self-work and everything, where the masculine, for the most part, becomes conscious of these things through lessons, karmic lessons, and through just, dawning epiphanies, glimmers of information coming through. He receives a lot of information telepathically from the feminine, so it opens up that dialogue for him to receive, like, oh, where's this coming from? It's almost like dawning epiphanies that the masculine gets. And I've said that this entire journey, that where a feminine is going to be more proactive with her ascension and is holding the torch. The masculine knows. He's just, for most masculine, they're just a little bit slower, and they're learning and doing their ascending in a different way. It looks different. And so sometimes when we look at it and try to analyze it on the 3D, we say, oh, that person's not doing anything. But sometimes just being in the karmic relationship, or learning the karmic lesson, or doing it the hard way, or, hitting rock bottom, or, spiraling in certain cycles is enough to wake them up and get those messages through. And it's not for you to control. It's just something that's going to come through for the masculine as they navigate in their own way. So allow for that. Underneath this is the base chakra. So the message or reminder here is choose only positive thoughts to describe your home, career, and finances, as your words determine your outcome. And this is something that I feel like where he's getting rooted in a new way in the world. And it's scary for him. It's like scary to think that, there's been a lot of limiting beliefs, I think, for the masculine. Like, oh, well, I got to do this. I've got to stay here. I've got to do that because, that's what brings me security, or that's, or I can't move, or I can't make a big change in my life because, I'd be too afraid. And now it's like he's getting rooted in a new way. And we're going to see this, like, really, it feels like we're going to see him make some action steps, like March and April. That really I have goosebumps. Okay, so that really feels like a pivotal time. So right now he's contemplating all of this. And he's doing some work behind the scenes to release the addictions. That could be addictions to porn, alcohol, drugs, prescription drugs. Could be addictions to just, dependency, his level of dependency on the job or the system or whatever that is. And so this is important. So Archangel Raphael, I feel like, is seeing over the twin flames, both twin flames. This is a message for both the feminine and masculine to release those dependencies. And dependencies come in all sorts of different forms. Like, I just released all these dependencies on this eczema diet protocol, where I feel like, I'm noticing, I don't really need coffee every day. Wow. Like, that was just my mind thought, as it was like a crutch for adrenaline, but I'm finding I have just as much energy without the coffee. So remember that. So feminine, we have the Four of Wands in reverse. And this really feels like feminine, like, like knowing where she's going, knowing where she's been, needing to assimilate to some of the changes, like giving yourself time to assimilate and to know that whatever changes, feminine, that you have recently made, like whether it's a move, like me, like a move, or leaving a relationship, or leaving a job, or maybe you're about to make a move. I've just had like 3 clients consecutively who are all moving geographically in the next month or so. So this is still happening. Everyone's at a slightly different pace. They're saying, give yourself time to settle in. Know that wherever you land, home is within you, and celebrate yourself. So again, this is coming up in reverse too. No place like home. But it's the reminder that feminine, no matter where you go, self-love is paramount. And this is how we celebrate ourselves. And this is how more clarity is going to come about our journey. And I feel like you do know where you're going, but this might be a little bit of doubt coming in, and this might be like the need to like slow down and let yourself just settle into these changes. I really do feel like settling into the changes means like when you land in a new spot, when you let something go, when you let a relationship go, when you make a major change in your life, give yourself time. A lot of times we think like, whoa, like I just changed my career trajectory. The money should be coming right now. Or I just changed, location. Like my whole life should be like totally happy. Like, why isn't it happy yet? Why is nothing changed? And we want it like right now. We want it yesterday. We want it, and we're not being patient with ourselves and noticing that, or knowing that the abundance, the happiness, the joy, it all comes from within. So no matter what changes you've made, it's all stemming from within you. So remember that, and that you take that everywhere with you, that sense of home within yourself. And step up the self-love, step up that coming home to yourself. And I feel like that's coming home to yourself in nurturing your creative gifts and self-care, in alignment with yourself, right? And aligning with your truth. And for some of you, because you've just let go of some dependencies or some relationships or something that you've been relying on for, like, false security, it may be hard to say, oh, wow, like, some of you might say, I feel lonely, or I feel empty, and they're saying you need to fill yourself up and reconnect with your passions, what you love to do. And remember that home is within you. And when you come home to yourself, the lights are always on. It's not empty. It's not lonely. Okay? And underneath this for the feminine is, have you asked your angels for help with this? And it says your angels want to help you with the situation. However, they require your permission before they can intervene in your free will choices. So if there are choices to make about your next steps, or if you need help assimilating to whatever changes you just made, ask your angels. Okay, they're around you. And let's pull some clarifiers for masculine and feminine before we go into the combined energies. Okay? Okay. Interesting. All right. So for the masculine, we're getting purge. And remember, we said, like, this feels in line with the healing the addictions. And they're saying it's time to go. So there are things that the masculine needs to release. Okay? Like releasing the pack, releasing the dependencies, releasing the addictions. But also, like, purging, cleansing, releasing, like, how he thought it was going to go, what he thought, life was supposed to be. It's like a new definition of how he's getting rooted or grounded in the world. So in order to do that, we've got to release. And I feel like many of the feminine have already gone through this purging, especially at the end of 2018, whereas the masculine are going to be doing this more and more over the next few months. And I love that this is sort of like a ball of fire, because it's showing me that this is some of the releasing that's happening at the full moon, the Leo lunar eclipse. So we're going to see some of that purging at month's end. So if you feel that from your masculine counterpart, you will understand why. This may be, and I will talk more about this as we get closer to that full moon lunar eclipse, but this may be like where he goes further into the depths of despair, darkness, or like kind of like another dark night type of episode. It could be flare-ups, anger. If you're in communication, you might see like anger, and it's just like old stuff just coming to the surface to be released, because a lot of it is going to be released now, I feel, for many of the masculine. And for the feminine, we got perspective, and perspective has like the picture of the globe. And it's just saying, like, feminine, zoom out. What's the bigger picture? What are you wanting to accomplish this year? You sort of know that already. So needing to assimilate to the 3D changes you've been making, needing to give yourself time to rest and let your body catch up to the changes you've been making are important. But they're saying don't lose sight of the bigger picture. Keep focusing on your goals. Keep moving forward, working on your goals, working on your bigger picture vision, because that you can anchor into the 3D this year. I don't feel like we have to wait. It's not 2 years out. It's whatever you set in motion, whatever you dream, visualize now, you can pull in this year. It's quite a powerful energy right now. So be sure that you are not just. Sometimes we get caught up in all those small little 3D things. We lose hope. We feel we look around, we see the lack of, we see what's not happening, and they're saying, like, keep focusing on what you do want. Allow that to raise your vibration. Imagine, visualize, daydream, okay? And the bottom of this deck is the Lovers. Okay, and I've been getting the message that your divine counterpart is coming in. Unions are going to be happening, reunions. Those of you who are not with a divine partner are going to meet your divine partners. And some of you are going to be reuniting come like May. So it's almost like that saying, come what may, we're going to be reuniting come like May. All right, so combined energy, we have the King of Cups. And so if you look at this is someone who is immersed in, the water and also up in the more ethereal realms, like finding that balance between this, 5D and 3D. I feel like it's also an emotional balance that we're mastering, and we're learning this integration. This is part of the reason why I'm Spiritual Material Girl now. It's time to integrate your world, and it's about, owning your spirituality more, owning your truth more, finding that balance with that, being okay showing yourself in a new way and showing your spirituality, and finding the balance in the 3D. It's kind of like when we see in the past, we've seen the card In Between Worlds, but I don't feel like we're stuck in between anymore. I feel like we're actually working on integrating. So some of you are going to be, putting yourself out there in a new way, showing your spirituality. You might be writing a blog or making a vlog on YouTube. You might be, just putting yourself out there in a new way where your voice is heard and seen. And that can be scary for some. And it's like you need to practice it in order to get comfortable with it. But this, I feel like, is more of an ownership and an integration and a practice of this not being in between two worlds, but just practicing it all being one. It's all one, right? You're kind of in both worlds at the same time. That's how we're anchoring in our 5D timelines, okay? Crowning over this is the Two of Wands, and I love how there's the full moon or almost full moon here in the background. And I really do feel like this is just, the yearning for expansion and they're saying whatever expansion you want to create is, you see how there's this Merkaba in here, is within you. And I feel like they're definitely showing the divine feminine connection with the womb. So that expansion is definitely connected to your divine feminine power, intuition, being guided to your expansion, to your exploration, being guided towards the things that you love, softly moving towards it, not pushing towards it, not forcing, not forceful action, inspired action, inspired ideas coming through that are going to help us take steps towards our expansion in terms of our creative ideas and projects. So we're being asked to nurture that, and we're being asked to nurture that expansion, and that it's almost like a craving is what the guides are telling me right now. It's like a craving for something more. It's a craving for, something bigger, the big picture. And it's the craving that the masculine has to break free. Like in some ways he's like, oh no, I want to stay down here. In other ways he's like, yeah, but I really want that. And that really wanting that bigger thing, that over there, that higher thing, is going to kind of pull him into this releasing. So underneath is the Strength card in reverse. And this is really about strength in a new way, strength in owning our authenticity. And that is very much how we're harnessing our strength. Whereas before, we may have shown what we thought to be strength in a very false expression of our polarities. So forceful, manipulative, controlling, impatient, too action-oriented, too logical, caught in logical cycles. Whereas I feel like this strength is coming through in a new way, where it's like we're attracting things to us. We're moving through more with a balanced feminine and masculine energy. Inspiration, inspired action. Inspiration, inspired action. Strength is nothing more than just holding yourself in alignment and being in surrender rather than being in fear. So we're really getting rid of those fear templates so that we can balance our polarities in a new way. If anyone wants help moving through your fear blocks, I do that in the soul coaching sessions. They're very progressive sessions. I work very directly with you, but they're also gentle enough to kind of guide you through your own healing and help you clear those blocks so you can come into that authentic expression of your combined masculine and feminine energy. So I feel like both the masculine and the feminine are working on this collectively, but also each of us is working on this as a balance from within, okay? Balancing our masculine and feminine through authentic expression. That means ridding of those fear templates, releasing them, purging them, replacing them with new, better feeling thoughts, with new beliefs in alignment with our trust, with our love, with our knowing, with our divine connection. That's a new definition of strength. That's quiet confidence. That's, holding yourself poised and composed, but not needing to scream or yell, right? It's non-reactive. It speaks its truth. Those are all the healthy expressions of the feminine and masculine. Bottom of the deck for the Wisdom of the Oracle is the Fates. And this is like let go of the control. The universe, once you have the clarity of where you want to go, right? The bigger picture, and it's time to go towards yourself, right? And it's kind of funny because this is masculine coming towards himself, authentic self, and this is feminine coming home to herself. Once you do that, whatever you're asking for from the higher perspective, from the 5D level, can rise up and meet you. And this is where the universe responds to you. So it's not that the universe is necessarily orchestrating it, but it's responding to your energetic call, your energetic vibration. And those desires can be met. Those things that you want to manifest can manifest. You have to clear out the fear, though, because the fear and resistance is the only thing that stands in the way of this. Trusting, letting go of the need to control, letting go of the need to know, or the expectation, or, the waiting, and just moving along on your own journey. Definitely what we're seeing is the masculine and the feminine getting really individuated, meaning they are becoming whole individuals on their own. That's what everyone's working on right now. And that's why we're going to see unions between divine twins this year, especially in May and May onward, okay? And the bottom of the, I have goosebumps, goodness. The bottom of the Star Child Tarot is 7 of Crystals. And I feel like this is also like how we are, it's a groundedness in how we're manifesting, right? So we're getting grounded. We're not flitting around anymore. And in this, we're becoming magnificent manifestors. But it's a needing to focus. It's a needing to get balanced. It's a needing to get grounded. It's a needing to, it's a finding the strength within yourself. Knowing that everything that you want to manifest is possible by lining up with you. Okay, that's like the bigger message here. And so I'm just gonna, I guess we'll take this bottom of the deck as the combined energy lovers. So I feel like divine partners are coming in for the twins. Let's pull just a few, since we're talking about guides and guide teams. We'll pull a few from Sonia Choquette's Ask Your Guides deck. So what do the guides, collective ascended masters, and twin flame guides, what do they want us to know at this time? So survival is here, and it's, see, this is 2019. This I feel like is opposite of this. This is where we have everything we need within us, and as we align with ourselves and with Source, everything's manifesting out here, and it's about finding that balance. It's trusting. This is where we're not trusting. This is where we are fighting to survive. This is where, we feel like things are against us, right? There's a lot of fear. There's a lot of gripping to old fear programming around money lack, and your healer guides want you to heal that so that you can become and step into your magnificent manifestation powers. So get real about where you're blocking yourself from manifesting. And what are those fears? Like, do you feel like the sharks are circling? Do you feel like it's a fight for survival? Because when you pull out of that and you just start focusing, the best way to pull out of that is just to get grateful. Instead of looking at like what, the fight to survive or how hard it might be to manifest or to, to support yourself, just start supporting yourself. Start loving yourself, treating yourself well, and start getting grateful for everything that you do have, because that's going to pull you out of that lack thinking and that sort of like, I have to fight for survival or fight for myself. This could also be like where you're in a situation. Some of you are in situations in which you feel like you're being swallowed up or like it's not healthy. And they're saying wait for the right time, but find the alignment from behind the scenes within. And then that's going to enable you to just like lift right up out of this. You're not going to get eaten by sharks. You're not going to be swallowed up in any situation. You have the power to manifest. You can manifest a new beginning, a changed or improved, situation. You can leave situations. And so when you look at this, there's no rescue boat here, right? But it's like, it's really this person's higher self, or maybe it's like the healers reaching down to help this person. But I also feel like that light is like source and higher self. So it's like they're saying this is trust right here. This is fear. You see that? The sharks are fear. This is trust. When you trust, you can just lift up out of this. And I know it's not easy to go from one to the other, but some simple ways, like I said, is just supporting yourself emotionally, and getting grateful for what is happening, looking at the positive, focusing only on that, finding new creative solutions, allowing those to come. Any situation that you feel maybe stuck in or that is no longer healthy for you, or maybe where you feel like you're drowning, you can turn it around. It's just energy. Energy is everything. So remember that. And then the guides also want us to know that we must prioritize what we want for this bigger picture perspective, right? This is perspective. What do you want? What is important that you work on at this time? They're saying nurture your creative projects, your health and wellness, find balance from within. And that's important. You see this fruit in the basket. Like, I feel like prioritize your health, your wellness, your inner balance, the self-care, the coming home to yourself. And balance that with your focus on your priorities, the things that you want to bring to life and light this year. By doing that, that's going to create success over the next 12 months. And you're going to find yourself in a year's time in a healthier state, more integrated, and with a lot of the fruition, right? Fruition has the word fruit in it. So this is also talking about those fruits coming. It's like the fruits of your labor. And but the labor doesn't have to be hard or strenuous. It's just about alignment and focus. So I'm going to split this one more time and see what else. So they're saying celebration, joy guides. And I'm buzzing. I'm buzzing up the back of my neck all the way to my crown right now. So I feel like crown chakra. They're saying stop thinking so much. Go have some fun. It's time to have some fun. And the more fun you have, the more you celebrate yourself and you celebrate life, the easier it is going to be to manifest. So in between these times of focus and prioritizing, it's like have fun, balance that out. And this is also the key to coming out of this fear, right? Is getting more lighthearted. And we can only do that really from a state of being in a state of trust. Either that or we have to get into a lighthearted sort of or fun situation to find that alignment sometimes. So move towards what feels good to you. Take time to do things that, feed your soul, that make you feel good, that bring happiness, enjoyment. These could be seemingly frivolous things or silly things, or activities, but take time to do them because it can't be all work and no play. And that's where we lose our balance. And I think that this is what this bottom of the deck card is about too, is like, it's a balancing act. It's you're needing to balance this focus and prioritizing with enjoyment. And that's a big message for us this year. So I love you guys all. I hope that's helpful. I'll see you for the full moon lunar eclipse. If you want that spirit guide meditation, you can purchase that on my website or one-on-one sessions. Intensive program is up for April. Check it all out on spiritualmaterialgirl.com. I'll see you guys next time. I love you. Bye. Mwah.